Hello and welcome back to episode 17 of Keeping It Real in Space Engineers with Strix. So I went ahead and put down a couple of lights over here because I'm tired of being in the darkness. And I've got myself a bunch of steel plates for the moment printed up. So I'm just going to move the ship over here to where I've started this line, so I've got something with some light on it. Because like I had said, I was losing sunlight, and now it's pretty well gone. Yeah, parking this sideways will work for the time being. So it's very heavy. That's letting me know I need some more thrust on here. Not that worried about that. I will get to it at some point when it becomes important. But for now, the Imhotep is running fine. Let's just go ahead and grab some steel plates out of here. Guess I already had a bunch in that one too. And I'm wanting to get started on a station. So I actually want to weld up this right here just to show where I'm starting the station itself at, so I can keep things straight, and also, yeah, so I know what to cut off later. And for the moment, I just want to get a little bit of basic structure in. I want it to be too tall on the inside, I think, so for the particular room I'm starting off in, wanting to have the roof is my jump drive. Really easy way to keep track of that. Though that's going to take forever to get welded up. And now I know the size of this room, if that's going to be the roof of it. So I'll just go ahead and get these put in here. But I want to set this up as more or less the center, my control center for the station. And I'm just going to build it all out of light armor instead of doing a bunch of corridors or interior plates like I would typically do. Just wanting to get the primary structure that's required for this to function overall. Those lights aren't brightening this up very well. Because this is probably just going to be either the first one that I build or the very beginning of what the build will be overall that I'm putting together right now. Okay, so we've got way in here. I'm going to want to be able to go all four directions from in here. I don't have any interior plates, so I can't put down other things. Like my control seat. Actually, I probably need a flight seat since I'm wanting this to be mobile. That uses interior plates. Let's just swing back in here and get some. That will just take a moment. Don't know why I'm searching steel. That's not even what I need. There we go. Unfortunately, I do have the Imhotep that I can get in here and put this together with. I think I'll put that right in the center of this room. That'll make things difficult for traveling around it, but I'm okay with that. Let's see. I could also use some batteries. So how about we remove these walls and replace those with batteries. I'm actually going to run reactor power on this station an awful lot, or as my primary power, with the batteries as a backup using the same power switch I've got over here, which has been working pretty well actually. It's keeping up, running the reactor when it needs to, and batteries otherwise. Right now the reactor is off and the batteries are on auto. Whoop, wrong button. Okay, so that's going to be the very center of the station. And I think that is pretty much all that I need on here. I can go ahead and weld up some of this steel over here. So let's go to 4 for the weld camera. Wait, did those get mixed up somehow? I think those might have gotten mixed up, because the welder is over on this side. Oh no, I've got the right camera. I'm just looking at the lights incorrectly. There we go. And that one's not welding up because it's a battery. This is going to throw a lot of steel plates into that jump drive most likely. I guess I'm alright with that. They're going to have to go there eventually. Okay, there's the problem with just using the camera, not paying attention to what the other side is doing. It's very important what the other side is doing. I also just realized I need to put my cargo buddy setup on this ship as well, so that I know when it's full and whatnot. There is no block there. Of course, that's not going to weld up anything. That helps a bit more. Oh, I've still got a few thousand of those. I had done almost 5,000, so let's creep around here a little bit. I did also make myself an extra parking spot right behind my original one up here, so that both the Imhotep and the Linhart can be parked at the same time with full access to the system, because I can and will wind up having to work with both of them while I'm doing this build. I still have to get the floor to this thing done. Some of the internals I'm going to wind up building by hand. And I think I will use at least some corridors in between chambers, like this is the command chamber. I might use corridors going forward to the manufacturing chamber. The aft back towards my asteroid here, that's actually going to wind up being my hangar. I'll build that once I cut it free. Starboard is going to be my apartment, and I think I'm just going to do medical and storage between both starboard and port. And talking while maneuvering in a weird viewpoint for the maneuvering I'm doing. Very difficult. Alright, there we go. And now I'm welding up things I don't need to weld up. I will just break those down some of it later. Hopefully without completely severing them, because I still need it connected. But let's get this floor. Still thousands to go. This would be faster if I were to switch out the grinder on the other side for an extra welder. But I really like the idea of having both on the same ship. I probably will wind up changing that though and just flipping it back and forth as needed until such a time as I build a specific ship for grinding. Or maybe I'll just go ahead and switch this one to pure welding and make another one for grinding down things. For instance, that ship might be heavily armored. Would be pretty easy to weaponize grinding someone's ship. As far as these AI enemies go. Speaking of, I went ahead and turned back on the global encounter rate. Alright, so that I wind up doing by hand. Let's just go ahead and move this out of the way. Come on, stop. There you go. Here soon I will have to worry about sustenance. But let's go ahead and get that on our hot bar here. And I know I don't have any spare components anywhere because I've used and or dismantled all of them. And while I'm here, let's look at the refinery and move all of that stuff over. Hey, another 10 uranium. I'm up to 51 uranium. That's actually an awful lot overall for how little I'm running. Now, if I start putting modules on all of these refineries, I won't be able to say I'm running little anymore. Alright, so that's all of that. And I can get these batteries set to recharge to where they're not just wasting their power. It most likely will have more batteries than just those two, but I'll see what I get to as I'm building other rooms. And this jump drive, how much of that did I actually get completed? Oh, I didn't put a single steel plate in there, and actually it doesn't even need that many. So I'm just going to grab all the steel plates it needs and just be done with that. Come on, quit being stingy. I know you've got all the metal or steel plates I need. There you go. And these batteries got all the steel plates they needed. So let's go ahead and get those queued up to get finished. the last thing I'll try to get done on that station is the jump drive, because that's probably going to require I move and actually do things. So I want to have the rest of it functional. Let's see. While those are building, give me some more steel. Because lights are over on this side, so I'll lay it out this way. I don't have any interior plates on me again, so again, I will have to go and get those. So let's just make 20 of those and sneak them up front. And I can only carry 3. That's fine. That will work for what I need. So passage. I also don't need that jump drive anymore. I'm just going to use the one and hope that that works for this early station. I don't actually want the passages. Roll backwards to get to the corridors. That's a corner. I don't want the corner. There we go. The light on the inside there. Regular passage. And light. But of course, I need more interior plates that I couldn't carry last time. Well, it's most of them. I only left 2 behind this time. Wait. Are all these going in sideways?
Inventory full.
That's just not going to work. Give me that back. I didn't look at them well enough and they were going in sideways. So back to number 4. There we go. Now they're in there right. And right here is where I'll be moving into one of those rooms. So let's see. 1, 2, and 3 is the space that I need. Light, passage, and light. And I still need to figure out how I'm going to move all of the conveying around, but honestly, that's probably going to be on the underside here. And I'll just put in, whoa, like floor vents. It's like over here, put in a vent for the command room. So that should work out pretty well. Alright, so light, passage, lights. And this will be moving on into production here. So let's go ahead and work on that room next. After getting all these evened up. Okay, so this is the outer wall. And go ahead and get this solid up and then see where my refineries will sit, or refinery will sit. So I just need one refinery, and I'm going to need a sorter for the refinery. Let's go ahead and use the industrial sorter. So if I put the sorter right make sure that it's pointing the right way, right here, and refinery right on the tail end of that. Let's see here. Okay, so that is connecting properly. Go on, refinery, work with me. Okay, so this will actually have to bump out a little bit further on this side, and conversely on the other side, because I like things to be at least generally symmetrical unless I'm going for otherwise. Oh, looky me, I ran out of steel. Give me those 40 back. Okay, so that means right here, I'm gonna need a conveyor. I don't need refineries anymore. So let's see, number 5. Conveyor right there. But that's going to be right against the wall, so over here I need a conveyor there and there. And that's going to be for a couple of refineries. And I guess this does need to be one more long at base. Okay, so let's weld up what I can. Go ahead and drop all that in. Oh wait, I had battery parts being made. Let's go ahead and park for a moment and get those. Swing around in my bottom view here. Yep, I was working on those parts. Let's just go ahead and hide empty in there. And come through and find everything that isn't nailed down or already in the ship for components. And I think that's it. Alright, and I still have 5 hours on this ship of operation. That's fine. Go ahead and get down here and weld these batteries up. 3 to turn the welder on. And then I think I actually am going to go ahead and change out that grinder for a welder and just make this a welder group on here. There's one battery up. And 2. I guess also in my production room I need a place for a reactor would not be a terrible idea in here. The middle is pretty well unused. I think that should work fine. I keep using all the other direction thrusters that just don't work as well as the forward and backward. But anyway, turn those on. Back to welding. Yeah, this does work much, much better than trying to do it by hand. Even with just the one welder there. Without question. Especially in realistic. I mean, 2 to 4 at a time, depending on how I'm moving. Whoa. Let's switch back to my camera. There we go. That's easier. Just turn off the dampers and let it flow. Nope, too fast. And I drifted away. Slow drift. There we go. That works much better. Let's move over and see if I can do the slow drift downward this time. Yeah, I think that's got it. So I'm still working on completing my species creation portion of the Alpha 1.0 right for Chrono Conquest. And that's because part of the goal for that game is I don't want to be the only game master who's running it and playing it, but I do want everyone who's running it and playing it to be able to easily say that they're in the same universe. Turn those dampers back on. So I'm trying to do a species creation that's being going to be used for making monsters, playable races, pretty much everything that exists in the universe under the same balanced rule set. And I'm probably overthinking it way too much, to say the least, which is why it's taking me a bit. Like, right now I'm just looking at positive traits for species, and a lot of that is just studying animals in our world, looking over things like different media, monsters that are there, myths and legends, and those monsters, the abilities they had. Try to think if that's a physiological trait, a mental trait, which technically would be physiological, but it's a game, tracking it differently. A social trait or a divine trait, be that a divine gift or a divine curse. Really good example is Medusa, the myth of Medusa. That's without question a divine curse. The type of petrification that she has. I don't know. If anything like that pops into mind, go ahead and throw it in the comments down below. Because it has been incredibly fun looking through all of this and thinking of all of it, but I'm holding myself up too much on what I'm doing because of it. Little help never hurt. I'm sitting here waiting for that to get welded up. That's a conveyor. I don't have the things to make conveyors on here right now. I'm actually running low on the things to continue welding the steel. But that's the entire point behind having all that pre-printed. Sitting at about a half hour on the videos so far. I'm still going to have to get the parts for that refinery and assembler and other things on here. Conveyors. It's getting a lot easier to fly the ship right now because it's almost empty again. There we go, that works better. Go ahead and park this up. Right after I said that it's starting to fly better, I start doing stupid things in it and making it look like it doesn't fly better. Anyway, perfect landing, as long as you ignore the quick jerk to the right that I did there. Yeah, let's turn off the welder before I jump out there and kill myself with it. Let's just get rid of the floodlight and this grinder. Put a welder on here. I think they share much the same parts. Yep, I just need 2 more small steel tubes. Wait, what else are you trying to do? No. Alright, now, just make me the steel tubes I need. Forgetting that I didn't move things in such a way as that works. And I actually don't like the way this light is floating, so I'm just going to get rid of that. I've still got pretty good headlights just with those 2 there. I think that'll work out. But let's go into here, grab welder, 1 and 2 IP welders. Don't need to see that anymore. And then I actually need to change those camera names. Let's see. Welder cam was the left cam, so that's port. And both of those are technically 4, but that's all right. I need to set up a refinery, a sorter, and 2 assemblers. Let's go with 4 conveyors. All right, so that's going to wind up taking a little bit. I also have my tail lights on here. Everything is just set to light everything up as much as possible though, because space and YouTube. But yeah, I'll get all these set up. Do I have steel on these two? No, I do not. Let's just grab a little bit. I can throw those items away. Go ahead and put down the assemblers. It's just going to be two of them standing side by side. I think right here is where I want my reactor, so I'm going to have to grind that out. So here, hold on to that steel. It's one way to deal with a problem. I don't have any interior plates though, and that was a pretty fast way to swing in there. Let's just grab. Oh, I only have one interior plate. Well, fortunately for me, that's all I need to put that in. Then use my warfare reactor. Curiosity has me. I know that I don't have what I need to build this right now, but would this actually fit in this chamber as it stands? No, because I'm going too tall, and that's 3. That's fine. I think what I could do is set these up here and give myself a nice cargo container in between those if I had an interior plate. Come on, there's an interior plate in here to steal. No? There is now. And put a small cargo container there. So that gives me 2 of them, and I can actually put a 3rd up here if I want to. That should be more than enough to run this station safely. I am going to need some more batteries though. So how about I cut out right here, and in the same position right here, and have a couple of floor batteries. Yeah, that'll work great. I also don't need these corners. I'm going to either angle those off or curve them, probably angle. So let's just go ahead and get a couple of those done at least. Running out of space for the steel now. Yep, there we go. Here, have some more steel. Silly me not turning this first. Well, that's going to mess up the numbering, but oh well. That uses interior plates.
Full.
That uses steel. Let's weld that up some now so I don't actually
Inventory full.
lose everything in one go. There we go. Alright. So that'll be that room. Actually too high. That's keeping the same thing I've got going on in here. Let's just not pay attention to the fact that that had to go too higher overall to guard the jump drive. It is what it is. I still need to put a light in there, which I'll probably put directly over my seat. Those batteries need to be switched to recharge as well. I am going to put a couple of solar panels on here. Usually my bases have 2 of these that are primary of that size that are gathering power, and that works as primary power pretty well usually, but not in a good place here for doing that at this time. Let's see, how are we doing on getting all of my parts? Hide everything in there. And just look for wayward components. I also need to move everything out of the refineries back into the ingot container there. It's getting a little messy. There we go. It's slowly cutting through all of that ore that I've got. And this is going to take a while. But I can go ahead and replace my one refinery here. The only things over here that I don't have set up to build overall is the reactors, which I'll probably take off and worry about their numbering later, and the cargo container, same thing. I did account for that conveyor, and I probably want to get modules on these before I take off to begin with, and probably before I put walls and a ceiling on here, because it's just a lot easier to get the Imhotep in there. Speaking of, I should go ahead and fix this stuff. Let's just remove that, go to the groups. Number 5, toggle on and off the Imhotep welders, and tool blocks on number 3 so I can do it myself if I ever decide to do that. And there we go. I should worry about food and water, which are still over here in Linhart. I think I'm probably going to need 2 water. Double check that. In any case, if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit the like button down below. And if you're willing to see more of what I get up to, there is always that subscribe button. Until next time, have a good one.